What up, my boys, and welcome back. It's your boy Eileo, of course, back with my third account review. It's lovely that you guys are kind enough to show me your accounts and see what you're working with, and just to take my opinion, or maybe the other people that might comment on this video's opinion, to heart and see how you can just improve. But today we have True Hero Luka's account, which I will be reviewing. He requested that I also look at his Titan mons and his PvP defense and offensive teams. So let's go over here and first do the B10 test. Did you do this one? I'm gonna go ahead and run that Sir dungeon for you. Hopefully it shouldn't be too long. Sorry about that. Did not plan for this, but I'm trying to be a bro and help you out because you're running out of time and I don't know how long I'm gonna take doing this. So let's try and get out real quick. So already 2 Dark Sea Stars, either you got lucky or you got some during the return of Sea Star, which Sea Star is honestly just a great mon to have, period. So I definitely can't qualm you for that. And you have a Dark Tina as well, and a Super Evo Miho, which I am curious to look at because I don't have a Dark Miho, unfortunately, and hopefully one day I can get one, but if they don't bring her back, your boy's out of luck. So we went ahead and finished that dungeon for you, man. Luka, I'm looking out for you, man. I'm looking out for you. Don't worry. The dungeon's done, man. We got that out the way. Let's go over here to B10 real quick and just see what you're working with. Looks like Dark Kraken, Miho, Birdie, and Tina. So you're pretty much defense aggressors, HP, pretty much aggressors, and a wave clearer. We'll see how far they get. I'm assuming that your Dark Sea Star has max crit or almost max crit because she's been critting every time. It looks like everyone else is fairly high crit too, unless we're just getting lucky because they're getting all kinds of crits, dude. All kinds. So far, so good. Tina hits like a truck, and she is a good wave clearer, I'll tell you that. And with having all dark types, there's no one to mitigate all the damage to, so the damage is being kind of spread evenly. I'm going to go ahead and assume that this is your B10 team, possibly. Target the boss. And you can already see right here, while I don't know the clear time yet, not having a sapper is really tearing up your time right here, because if you could sap him even with 1 sapper, his HP would fall just as much, if not possibly a little bit more, depending on how many stacks he has applied to him. But this right here is what's really killing your clear time the most. But I'm not sure if this is actually your B10 team or not, or is just the team that you used last. So if it is your B10 team, there's definitely room for improvement. If it isn't, what I do next when I review your mons, we can take it from there and we'll see how it goes. But I'll also do your PvP defense and well, your clan versus clan defense and attack. If those aren't done already. So B10's cleared out. Let's look at the time. So even though you have dark mons, your clear time was 2 minutes and 34 seconds. If this is your B10 team, there's definitely work to be involved, but I do see your best time is about 1:38. So maybe that's good RNG or a different team. But the team that had the 1:38 time, definitely fine. This team, however, whatever that you're using for B10 at the moment is not fine. But like I said, I don't know if you were farming B10 before this, or that's just who you have set because you're farming something else. But we'll go over here to your defense team. Your defense team for PvP. Thor, he's fine. Dark Sea Star's fine. Valkyrie can be fine depending on what set she's on. Also Dark Birdie, and then Dark Miho. However, let's take a look at your defeats. I want to exit out of that. Let's take a look at your defeats. They're mainly light mons. Mainly light mons with some dark mons, which indicates to me that maybe your Dark Thor doesn't, I mean not your Dark Thor, but your Light Thor doesn't have enough resist. Or maybe they're just not taking the bait with your Fire Valk. Which, I mean, you could definitely use someone else depending on what your mon box has. And if you have like maybe a Light Succubus by any chance, or what else would be Light Odin even would help you mitigate a little bit more damage and make Thor tanky. But I mean, keeping Dark Miho hidden is fine as well. I mean, you can also keep Thor hidden because Thor is quite annoying. But I think the main problem will either be the gearing on your Dark Birdie or your Valk, or possibly Sea Star, because somebody is straight bursting them down in some type of way, or shocking the mess out of them and killing them, unfortunately. So resist might be a problem as well. Let's look at your offensive team. Seastar, Miho, Seastar, Tina. Seastar is great because Seastar has that critical hit boost to her leader skill, and Dark Miho is great too. Dark Tina, I'm not really sure if I would use her in PvP because she's just so glassy that while she does great damage, if she gets hit like once, it's like rest in peace to the squad. So I would definitely replace your Dark Tina. Let's see who we have here. PvP wise, perhaps no Dark Arthur. You could use your Dark Arthur for defense, but it doesn't look like you have other mons besides your 2 Dark Sea Stars for PvP. I mean, you could definitely use Indra to help offset you being one element only, but I would like for you to have some type of light mon also to help with your PvP team. I mean, you do have Light Valk, which you can use her. You can use her in PvP. She might not hit as hard as your other mons, depending on what her build is. But I would definitely advise you trying to incorporate her in there too, because I mean, you're running dark types, but you're not running any dark type that could potentially straight up destroy everybody. You know what I mean? Because Dark Miho, she can do work if she gets her stuff off. But other than that, if they take out Dark Miho, then there goes your DPS. I'm not sure if I can get your Titans because it looks like you did Titans already. Trying to think, is there any way for me to get in Titans at all? There may not be a way for me to get in Titans, but I can still go over here to your clan versus clan. Let's see who we got here. Alright, your defense team, obviously your round 2 team for clan versus clan is very, very lacking. Your round 1 isn't the greatest, but what I saw of your mons at the moment is perfectly fine, especially if your Valk is on a pugilist set or some type of annoying set like Siphon. Your second one, however, needs a lot of work. Like, I would put in Light and Dark. I would probably use one of your aggressors, if not both of your aggressors, for your second round. Perhaps keep one hidden and keep one out, and then throw in maybe a strong passive healer and either your Light Thor somewhere, and trying to think of who else that I saw, and someone else, because these mons, dude, they're not cutting it. They are not cutting it. They will straight wipe the floor of you. You can keep Water Odin in there as well. She's okay. She was fine, and Arthur. So I mean, this team isn't the best, but compared to what you have over here is way better. But I can't really say too much because we haven't seen your gems yet. But that's what I would do for your defense team for clan versus clan, because you need to bring in your aggressors. You need to bring in any aggressors that you have light and dark preferably, and probably high resist. And you can put in a Trollmon in there too. Somebody with Pugilist, somebody with stun, somebody that can heal, perhaps a passive healer if you have one. But that's your clan versus clan defense. Doesn't like you attacked anyone. Your offense, Kraken's fine, Thor's fine. This team's okay, but the problem with Artemis is that she's self-sufficient, so unless there's a Watermon on the other team, you'll probably have to change her out for Dark Indra, which is okay. I would add Leo instead of Sun Wukong here because he's a Sea Striker. He doesn't benefit from attacking these dudes. So does Dark Merlin, so I would put in Leo. And I would actually probably put in Dark Tina and take him out. And then I would say you could probably throw in Succubus, but she's a fire type. Because I try and offset my entire team. I try to make them at least covering a couple different elements and not just one, because if you have just one, then you can get exploited quite well. And he has light, so we got light, dark, 2 water, so we're gonna need a fire type. I mean, not a fire type, but a wood type. It looks like you might be lacking in the wood department. So I mean, I guess worst case scenario, I don't know Garuda's stats right offhand, but you could do either Garuda or Merlin for the time being, but not exclusively. We can just do Garuda right here and keep it like this for now. But this is what I would do. I would try and have mixed elements. Light and dark's fine, but definitely have one other element, because if there's other elements in their team, especially for their hidden, then they're gonna deck you if you have nothing that can kill what they have hidden. Because if they have something trolling hitting and they come out the gates and bust it out on you after you only killed 1 or 2 mons, you're going down, dude. You're going down. But let's take a look at your mon box. Quick glance at it, and it looks like you are lacking a lot of level 60s, which is probably bringing your account down more than it should, because it looks like you're more than capable to get them to 60, but it's just a matter of choosing who and what to do with them. We'll check your storage over here. You have a whole bunch of Nat 2s, which if you get more money, which you should by farming golems, but if you get more money, just go ahead and get rid of all these my dudes. I mean, it doesn't hurt that they're in there and you can't take them out, which is probably why they're still in there. But unless you plan on evoing them, just release them, or evo them and then release them. But I wouldn't keep them in there. I mean, if you can get back up in there one day and get them and clear them out, then fine. If you never get back up in there, it doesn't look like you're missing anything other than some grass sirens, which you can always make more of for lovely old light Shiva. You have another Indra in there, a Nightmare, another Shiva. What is that? Sanzang, Leo, Nightmare, Artemis, Nightmare. So you can probably almost Evo 3 a Nightmare. Yeah, you can Evo 3 a Nightmare. Plenty of Sigs, another Indra, Artemis, Kraken. I'll take Kraken out real quick. Dark Sarah, Dark Victoria. I'll take these 2 out too. So don't be alarmed if you see them out. We'll take those out. And I'll start from the bottom instead of the top, and we'll go ahead and take a look at these mons. So that's probably why she was in here, because she doesn't have a square. But I mean, 100% critical hits have 100%, so you could put her on intuition if you did want to use her or invest in her in the future, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I can understand why you have her in a box right now, just because you want to get rid of her. Jigsaw. That dog, man. That dog. And then you have your Gatita over here. He is rocking max crit, which is beautiful. And some good crit damage on him as well. For a little bit of resist, which is great. Which is great, dude. I have nothing else to say about him. I mean, I would probably take off his crit damage gem right here and put on a attack gem instead, because he's all crit or nothing. But I would do the attack gem instead, because if he's not getting off his 5-star skill, which is the multiple hits, then he's not going to do any damage, dude. So go ahead and swap that out with an attack gem, and he should be good to go. Get him to level 60 as soon as possible. I don't know what content you're doing. Get him level 60 as soon as possible. You won't regret it. This is 1 out of 2 of your Dark Birdies. With Dark Birdies, in my opinion, since you have 2 of them, I have 2 of them as well that I'm working on building. But I would, of course, finish skill booking him up, and probably do 2 different sets on them. You could probably do a double HP and maybe crit rate set, or a double HP and defense set. You could put him on Pugilist, Intuition, Ruin if he has a square slot. There's a couple different ways you could build him, and it's just figuring out which one would be the best for you. But I think if I was building him, I would probably have one on Ruin with crit rate and double HP. And I mean, I might test one out if I do have the gems laying around, and perhaps put him on something like Pugilist for the other one, and kind of make them both different. So one's tankier more than the other. But there's no way anyone out there besides watching this video and fighting your defense would know which one is which, unless they were to hit him. Especially if you get your other one variant, there's no way in the world we would have any idea what they're packing, and that would be kind of, well, not kind of upsetting, but extremely upsetting. You have a Dark Mona hit 2. Looks like you're working on a Siphon set for her, my boy. You need to go ahead and finish that Siphon set for her in some shape or form. It's not optimal, but a Siphon set is better than no Siphon set. Go ahead and get her to 60. Get her skill booked up. She's a great wave clearer, even though I know you have Dark Tina. But you could use Dark Mona. You could also use her in Titans a little bit. But more importantly, if you're doing clan versus clan or PvP, you can definitely use her there. So that's one of the mons that you could actually use for PvP or clan versus clan as an attacker to help fill in your slots with your other mons. So definitely work on her. So far, get Gatito up there and get Dark Mona. You have a Dark Garuda as well. Elemental Edge and Blind balance type. Kind of lackluster, but you could throw him on Ruin and get him up there whenever you can. I wouldn't say priority number 1, but I would probably throw him on Intuition, or I would probably just throw him on Ruin with a square slot since he has that crit. Dark Odin, oh lucky you. Definitely get her up. And you have a Grass Odin. Definitely get her up. I'm not sure if you're building Grass Odin or not. Definitely get her up. You can throw her on crit. You can throw her on anything you want, really. Anything you want, because she heals herself. But throw her on Ruin. Get her to 60. Again, this is another good, clean clan versus clan defense mon that you can use. Or a good, clean PvP defense mon. I mean, are all of these mons the best? It depends on how they're built. But if you get her with high resist, you can definitely throw her in PvP defense or clan versus clan, no problem. Dark Sarah, her gems are fine, but you do already have a Dark Mona and a Dark Tina. So if you don't have either one of those, I would work on Dark Sarah. But as she is now, I mean, she's fine. I just took her out to see her. And you have a Canary as well. I keep forgetting her original name, dude. Triple Square Master Race, HP Siphon. You have her on crit rate, HP, attack. She is an attacker. That build's fine. She hits her her crit rate. She could use a little bit more resist, but I mean, at the end of the day, that one's fine. Dark Venus, recovery. She's on what? Recovery, defense, HP. That set's fine. She's a Titans, as you can see, with a plus 12. Just get her to level 60 and she's good to go. Another Dark Gatito. Again, get him with max crit rate. If his crit rate isn't max, he's useless. Try and get him on Ruin or Intuition if you can't do the max crit with Ruin. Get him level 60 as well, and you already have 2 members for Dragon's B10 that can help you potentially just straight one-shot the dragon at the end. So definitely get both your Gatitos up, and you're lucky to have 2 with square slots because I only got 1 with a square slot. Good old Dark Fibbing, you have 1 up here, so I'll skip this one for now. Dark Yeti, you're working on her. She's usable in clan versus clan defense as well. Judging from what you have already, she's a good contender. Would she be the best for you? Probably not. but I mean, it couldn't help to build her, but I would keep her at 50 for now and focus on some other mons. You have an Evo 3 Arthur. I think, yeah, he has extremely disgustingly high HP, so I would probably throw him on 2 more HPs and see if we can get his crit rate up and resist up, and throw him on defense, dude. Throw him on defense somewhere. Make him, I wouldn't make him hidden, just keep him out, throw him on defense, get that HP up, and dude, you're good to go. I mean, of course, the rate and the crit rate and resist, but get him up and you're good to go. Again, for the birdies, I explained that earlier. Defense set is fine. It makes him a little bit more tankier and less susceptible to defense down. But you can maximize his DPS with the other gems that I stated. Your Dark Krakens, they're both on a crit rate set, which is perfectly fine. Defense. You can, I wouldn't offset this one, but your other one who is lacking a little bit in the crit, since she isn't going to be max crit, you could offset this a little bit by oh, never mind, she doesn't have the crit rate gem. You could offset her damage, my bad, by taking one of her gems, obviously her square slot, and giving her a crit rate. That would give her a little bit more damage over the other one, since you have 2, and having 2 different ones slightly built. 2 different ones built slightly different would definitely throw people off. So even if this one was on Ruin, which is hard to do, I know, but if you could put her on Ruin and the other one Intuition with near max crit rate, like this would be like OG. But you do have them skill booked, and overall they are both geared fairly well, especially not having a square slot, so nothing to really worry about there. Dark Fabian, he's booked up as well. He's on Valor. I would not put him on Valor. I would put him on Intuition or probably Ruin, because he's a dark type, and while he's balanced, he's actually quite a flexible mon. So you could put him on HP, crit rate, attack, which I would recommend. HP, attack, defense. You could put him on what you want, but I would say HP, crit rate, attack on Ruin, and like, dude, he's set. He has no problem surviving. He has no problem dishing out some damage and being able to take some damage as well. So I would definitely do that for him. Your Dark Tina is on a Intuition set, almost max crit rate, perfectly fine. In my opinion, I would get rid of that HP on her and do attack again and see if you can get her crit rate up. But her optimal build would be on a Siphon set. So if you can get a Siphon set for her, she'll be good to go. Just give her crit rate, double attack, she's good to go. She's not really a mon that I would use as an attacker. I mean, you can, but there's other mons that you can use as attacker, but just my opinion on it. Your lovely Dark Miho, near max crit rate, beautiful. HP. The only thing that you could do is get some slightly better gems and go for that max crit rate on her, but level 6 lead, she's fully skill booked. There's not much else I can say on her. She's built as I expect. She's built in a way that is proper and fine for her. So kudos to you on that one. Your Dark Sea Star, not Dark Sea Star, but Light Sea Star. You could put her on either Titans or Clan versus Clan defense. I mean, she's not going to do too much of Titans, but you can use her for the attack down. But you can throw her in Clan versus Clan defense as well. With her being a tank type, you could do her with crit rate and HP and defense. I would probably do just HP defense on her with high resist, and she would be good to go at 60. But get her to 60. Get your Venus up as well. Triple HP. Her gems are fine. Good set of resist on her. HP is fine. Get those gems up, the plus 15 whenever you can, and get her to level 60, and she's good to go. You're working on a dark. You have a Light Yuki here. For Light Yuki, I would put her on a Ruin set if you can get it. If you can't get Ruin, do Intuition. Crit rate, double attack, crit rate, HP attack is up to you. But I mean, she has a square slot, so there's that potential there. Seedler, you can also use him in Titans or Clan vs Clan defense. You just got to get him with the right gems. Again, you could do him Ruin or probably Intuition, but I would just say as long as he has HP defense. You could do HP defense. He should be fine. I mean, throw him on a conviction set too. Just raise that resist up, and he'll do fine. I mean, he's not the best, but he's not the worst either. Light Miho. I would not use her. I mean, you can build her with HP defense, but I would not use her. Light Valk. She's built okay. Not optimal in my opinion. But for what she is, what is this? HP attack. She's built okay. So never mind. You're not going for max crit rate, which she doesn't need. You're going for more resist. But if you can get more resist up on her, then she should be like OG peanut butter, dude. So get more resist on her. Maybe one day you can get her to Evo 3 and she'll be okay. Your Thor, he is struggling over here. He has a great amount of resist. And okay HP, actually. Okay HP, HP defense. You could do HP defense for him, or you can do HP defense. I would say HP defense, while it makes him harder to be healed. Defense down would be a little bit less on him, and I mean, it will affect him less, and he'll be easier. I feel like he might survive a little bit easier on HP defense. I could be wrong because I don't have a Light Thor, but I would try that out, and if not, you still have these gems here. But if you could get him on a conviction set with something similar to this and max that resist out or get it as high as possible, my boy, he's gonna make somebody cuss. I'll ignore these because I'm not sure. You might be building a Wood Mushi for Titans. That's fine. Throw him on Intuition or Ruin because he needs critical hit for his stuff to work. So crit rate, attack, HP. Have at it. Yeah, have your Wood Odin here. I would just feed her because you have other Mons. Unless you are dead set on building her, I would just feed her to your other Odin and pray that you get more. But if you did want to build her, HP, I would say HP attack. Intuition, Ruin, Valor, doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter for her. Persephone, that might be your only Persephone. That's that Evo 1. Get her to Evo 2 and give her to one of your fire ones. Sap is okay, and I mean, she is usable in Titans too, so you can get her to Evo 2. Put her on maybe HP attack, defense, conviction set, let her have at it in Titans if you want to keep her. Wood Hana, double Wood Hana. You're going for recovery on one and conviction on the other one. That's perfectly fine. Get her to 60. She'll do wonders. She should be recovery, defense, HP. This should be the same thing. So yeah, those are perfectly fine. Paka, you are going for that 100% crit rate. You're almost there. If you can get a better crit rate gem for him, for that 54%, he might just be able to make it, or get some crit rate for your attack gem, and he will be good to go. But definitely get him to max crit, because if he doesn't crit, then he's useless. So get him on max crit. Intuition's fine. Ruin is obviously optimal for the most damage, but Intuition's fine because he's not a dark type, so I wouldn't sweat it. Another Hana, already did that already. Light Raditz defense set is fine because he's just there for debuffing. That's fine. Get him level 60, finish up with your gems, and it looks like your main problem is that you just don't have the Mons at level 60. And I mean, leveling does help lessen the gap so much that it's not even funny. Like, I'm sure you could probably bust out perhaps a couple more mil on Titans, just getting your Mons to 60 and making sure they're booked up. But it looks like you have been booking them up, which is great, but you need to get them to level 60, my boy. Wood Fibian, he can be built anyway. He's flexible as well, just as Dark Fibian. You could do HP, defense, HP. That's perfectly fine. And you might have him on the same thing over here, HP defense. that's perfectly fine as well. You can give him an attack gem if you want. He's just there for debuffs, so the more resist the better, and he'll do his job. So get him to 60 and call it a day. You have good old mini cat over here as well. HP set for a little bit more survivability. See if you can get him a little bit more resist. Get him to 60, and you're good to go. Another P.A.K.A. of course. Give him to 60. Evo 2 Pinoc. Well, Pinolo, not Pinoc. Flat gem, crit rate, attack. He actually might benefit from the flat attack gem more. If I read correctly on Reddit, I could be wrong. But with that percent and his high resist, he's fine. He's straight glass cannon. He should be bringing in all kinds of damage. You do have him level 60. He's fine, man. He's fine. Your Merlin, he is on a rune set as well. And triple square master race. Absolutely beautiful. That's fine. You could switch the defense out if you want with HP. But other than that, I mean, he's perfectly fine. You have him on a glass cannon build as well. Slightly glass cannon. I would say more towards a bruiser build. Perfectly fine. He shouldn't have any problems in Titans. Artemis, she's an attacker type. I wouldn't put her on defense unless she's on triple attack. So that's fine. Wood Artemis, in my opinion, is the worst one out of the bunch, because just like Wood Valk, they can be quite tanky and quite annoying, but HP Siphon just heals everybody and can be annoying, but it doesn't really bring any DPS to the table. So I mean, for how she's built, and it looks like you're using her fairly well, she's fine. Wood Shiva, Predator and Seal, definitely finish him up with a Valor Gem, which might be what you're waiting for. Just throw him with like a HP gem. He's fine. Get those gems up to plus 15 when you have the money. He's fine. And he's level 60. Wood Garuda, Courageous Strike. You're going from nearly max. He's fine as well. But I did forget to mention everyone besides Pinolo. I would say also try Leech if you're finding that if you're finding that they're dying super early in Titans before anyone else. Definitely switch them over to Leech. Ruin is the second most optimal build for them when they crit, but Leech helps them survive a bit more, and they do have a lot of your mons have square slots, so you can still keep that crit rate for damage, but add in that survivability. By giving up crit damage, you're adding in possibly 1 to 3 more turns in Titans, so that's something to consider. Would I do it right now? No. Once you have the spare gems, try switching them over and seeing how one does. But for right now, I mean, you're working with what you got, which is okay. You can get Shelly up. Shelly is a great debuffer for Titans. Shelly or Water Seedler, in my opinion. So get him up when you can. HP. I would say put him on defense, attack, HP if you're going to do this kind of setup, just so he gets a little bit more HP on him, because he is kind of glassy. But other than that, I mean, it's fine. You could put him on Valor too for a little bit more damage from his Predator, but I mean, really, he's just there to debuff. Katine, get him to level 60 when you can. Skill booking is optional. HP, recovery, defense, that's fine. Those do his job, no problem. Water Yeti, again, you could probably throw her with some type of resist. I wouldn't do triple defense. Give her some HP as well, just so she can be a little bit more squishy, be able to take a little bit more hits. But get her to Evo. Not get her to Evo 3, but get her to level 60, and she should be okay for Titans. I mean, that's her only real use. Water Shiva, don't build. Just don't build. Water Kira, broken set, recovery, defense, HP, that's fine. Get her to 60 when you can. Prioritize your Sea Strikers and your attackers first, getting them to 60, and then get your healers to 50 last. Sanzang, double defense aggressor. You could throw her on a protection set, a resist set, intuition, or ruin. The world is your oyster, man. It just depends on what you want to put her on. I would probably go for ruin as optimal damage, but you could also put her on conviction just to have more resist, which could be more annoying for clan versus clan defense. There's just a million different ways to build her. Water Sieg. Let's look at him. Defense, attack. Probably switch the defense out for more HP. With Valor, I would not put him on Valor. If you do, I guess this would probably be the mon for you, in my opinion, to try and test out with the darn, I forgot. With the leech gems, try and test him out on a leech set instead. He doesn't have crit rate, so you could do HP and double attack on a leech set and see if you can get his resist up, and he should fare fairly well. You do have enough Siegfrieds to get him to Evo 3 if you want, but I would probably go for a leech set on him, especially because he doesn't have a square. But get him to 62 because, again, he's a she striker. Get him up. Cottonies, you know how to build them. I'm not too worried about them. Water Cupid, not Cupid, darn it, what's her name? Water Pixie. Dominance, I'm not too sure about. I mean, you could build her standard just recovery, HP and defense, possibly with some resist up there. Not really sure though, because sap is kind of awkward. I did do a video on her as well. I can't remember everything off the top of my head, but I mean, you could use her as healing, but sap is just awkward, so keep her to 50 for now. Max crit rate in your Spark It, which is fine, and attack and HP. Kind of like a bruiser build, perfectly fine. Obviously ruin would be ideal. Skill booking him, if you have any more skill books left, which you have one, would be great. But other than ruin or a leech set, there's not much else you can do with him. Get him to level 60 though, as soon as possible. You have a Artemis as well, which is beautiful, and she's variant. Artemis, you can put on a siphon set if you have a siphon set laying around. I've run mine on HP attack on Valor just to help offset her lack of attack, even though she's here just for pure sap action. But I mean, you can definitely do that any way you want, as long as you give her some type of HP and attack. She does fine. She's there for sap. She isn't there for pure raw numbers. She's just there for the sap. But you could definitely invest in building her. You can throw her in your B10 team as a sapper, which might be slowing you down if you're not using her, which you aren't because she's level 50, but you might have planned on using her, which is fine. Your Water Siren's fine. Get her booked up when you can, just a little bit more heals. She's fine. Another Water Yeti, already went over that. Near max crit rate with him, perfectly fine. Broken set, HP, attack, crit rate. He's fine. Get him level 60. Have at it. Have at it. I mean, ruin would be optimal. Again, I keep saying ruin is optimal because it is. But for what he is, have at it, man. He's booked up too. Get him level 60. Call it a day. Your Wood Odin, if you are going to use her, definitely get her on probably a resist set or ruin or intuition, or you can even do Valor on her. Valor. But I mean, there's different ways to build her. Being a balanced type, you could do HP, attack, defense, which is probably what I would recommend for her, or HP, attack. I would probably say HP, attack, defense might be your best bet for her though. Water Barona you have on Valor set. She isn't critical hit reliant. You have her at Evo 2 and 60. Her damage should be fine. If she's dying, like I stated before, a bit sooner than you would like, throw her in a leech set, but other than that, quite fine. You have one on HP set as well to help her heal herself. That setup, defense, attack is okay for her since you have it offset with the HP 20%. But see if you can get a leech set for her and throw her on maybe crit rate, attack, HP, or crit rate, attack, and see how she does. She might be optimal how she is now, but since she's a courageous striker, I try to keep them to I try to keep them alive as long and as much as I can, but you know, it's really your choice. Water Suck. She needs that crit, which you're working towards, and attack down. She's just there to survive. More resist would be nice, but not optimal for her. So she's okay. She's okay. I won't say anything about her. I'll ignore these because they're 4 stars. You can get Neza up. Neza is a great Titans mon if you can get her to Evo 2 at least. Would I use Gleams on her to Evo 2 her? No, but I mean, she's fine for Titans. HP, HP defense, HP defense, defense. Give her some resist. Put her on an HP set if you want. Put her on a defense set if you want. Just have her survive and you should be quite well. Fire Garuda, not the best. If you were to build him, HP, defense, defense. Your set can be whatever you want. He's a defender type. It doesn't really matter. But he doesn't really bring anything amazing to the table besides Seal, which other mons can do, and which I would prefer other mons to do. Fire Shiva, Stun, and Adrenaline. He could help you stun some mons if you get him geared up. But I mean, would I invest in him at this point? For you, probably not. Maybe feed him into your wood one if you're not going to use him. Feed him into your wood one. But I would use probably some other mon for stunning, unless you don't have any other mon that you would use for stunning. On Myoji, SP Siphon, get her geared up. Do HP defense defense, probably on Conviction, and you can use her in Colossus, dude. There's one Colossus that needs at least 2 SP Siphoners for you to pass it. So get her up, get her to 60, get her to Evo 2. Throw her in that Conviction set like I just said. Have at her in Colossus, she should be okay. And you have 2 of those. So do the exact same thing as I stated before. She should be okay. Cupid. Recovery, defense, HP. I'm going to go ahead and just assume all your healers have this. Get him level 60 when you can. Obviously this one's Evo 1, so don't really break your neck trying to get him level 60. Get him level 60 when you can. Siegfried, he does have a square slot. Put him on a Siphon set as soon as possible. If you're going to use him for Siphon, you do have Dark Sarah, which I would probably recommend to you instead. Or your Dark Tina. Probably your Dark Tina and your Dark Mona as wave clearers, because Hunter on a Dark type, especially both of those with skill books, really offsets the elemental edge. Dark Sarah might be useful in a couple other areas in the game, but she might only increase your clear time by a couple seconds. So I would say Dark Tina and your Dark Mona, get them to 60, get them on a Siphon set, you're good to go. Would Siegfried be useful? Yes, but if you're going for Titans, which I feel like you are, go ahead and just throw him to water Siegfried once you get him up. Boltwing, he's on Valor. Attack, HP, attack, perfectly fine. He's there for debuffing. He isn't so much for damage. That's fine. Get a little bit more attack, a little bit more damage out of him before he dies. It's fine. Wild Fang, there's a couple different ways you can build her. Attack, attack, attack. Triple attack's fine with HP. Keep in mind it might be a little bit more difficult for her to heal herself, but this build isn't bad at all. You can throw her in triple attack. You can do her HP attack, attack, HP crit rate attack, crit rate attack, attack. There's many ways you can build her. This way is fine. Get her to Evo 3 when you can. At least get her to 60, my boy. You're good to go. I'll go ahead and just skip the healers because we know that you know how to build your healers, and they just need to get level 60 and skill booked if you have the books for them, if you have the money for them. Both your Verdes, again, I would recommend a leech set, at least for the one that does not have ruin on her. Get her on a leech set and she should do quite well. I have a Verde and leech set and she does the top DPS on my Titans team at the moment. By far the top, because she survives the longest and she does wonderful. So crit rate, attack, attack, crit rate, HP attack is up to you, my boy. Up to you. But if you want to increase your damage on Titans overall, get these Sea Strikers to level 60 as soon as possible. it'll help them survive a lot more than what they're doing now. Another heal. Yaksha, you might be building your Yaksha. That's okay. You can use her for Titans. She's defender type. Defense, HP. HP defense. I usually go with that one because you have healers, and if the healers are dying, the chances are everyone else has died as well, unless you have a Sea Strike on a leech set. But get her to level 60 when you can. Would I say make that #1 priority? No. You do have Neza that you're working, actually not working on, but Evo 3 Neza. Like I said with Neza before, just apply that to her. Succubus, you have her on a broken set, but her crit is darn near max. Perfectly fine. Crit rate, HP, attack. If you feel like your Succubus isn't doing enough damage, try throwing her on Intuition or Ruin. I would say Ruin is probably the best for Succubus, and get her to Super Evo, because while her damage is good, she is very, very glassy, unfortunately. So if you're planning on using Succubus, which I would recommend, because she's useful in not only clan versus clan defense, not defense, but attacking. Clan versus clan, your attacking squad, which you need more mons with. She's okay in Titans as well because of her passive. So get her to Super Evo when you can. Her build right now is fine, but throw her in a Ruin or Intuition for more damage. You have another Verde. Disgusting. Not that many skill butts, but get her to 60. I would say throw her on a Ruin or Leech set again. She's good to go. Evo 2 Valk. She's unfortunately not on a Siphon set. I would say put her on a Siphon set or a Pugilist set and let her have at it if you're going to use her. Resist is fine, but I feel like they're just going to stomp her out regardless because she has that stun. So I mean, it's really up to you what you wish to do with her. I would say what I just said before, but I mean, as she's built now, she's okay. Pugilist would be probably a little bit more better on her, or Siphon would make her more annoying, and of course Evo 3. But for what she is, it's fine. Fire Shinobi. This set's fine. If you can't get him on Leech, this set's fine. He should do quite good damage. You have a Persephone as well. I wouldn't really put her on Resist because her primary use, in my opinion, is just for Golems B10. So I would probably just take her off Resist set, throw her on Valor, HP attack, and just let her have at it, dude. Let her have at it. Feed your other Wood Miho, I mean not Wood Miho, but Wood Persephone to her, and let her have at it. She's there just like Artemis, just for the saps, and a little bit more damage definitely can't hurt her, but I mean, it is what it is. Your Indra, Elemental Edge, this one's fine. He doesn't need Ruin to be optimal. You can use him in PvP as well. His resist is getting there, but you can use him in PvP as well. A Ruin set might be a little bit better with the Elemental Edge, but overall, he's fine. I would leave him. Leo's on a broken set. Man, you need to get him skill booked up in Super Evo. I 10 out of 10 would recommend it when you can. Attack, HP, crit rate. You could keep him on this build or throw him on Ruin with double attack or HP attack, crit rate, and his damage should be pretty darn good. I have mine on Ruin with double attack, and this dude does like 3 mil on Titans. 2 to 3 mil. No problem. No problem. So it's really up to you how you want to build him. But he does hit that max crit rate criteria, except for that 1%. So he should do damage just fine. Get him to Super Evo when you can, and see how he fares after that. If you want more damage out of him, go to Ruin, go to Intuition. But other than that, he's fine as long as he has that max crit rate. And last but not least, remember I'm skipping your healers because you obviously know how to build them, is your Fire Sun Wukong. Evo 3, Predator and Courageous Strike. You have him on HP. I would not recommend that. This set's fine, but again, go for Leech. Have him survive a little bit more, because a little bit more HP means he could take another hit or two, but if the Titan crits, he's gonna die anyways. So get him on a Leech set. Again, crit rate, attack, HP, crit rate, attack, depends on how you want. But other than that, I mean, it looks like your mon box is fairly well. Your main issue is getting your mons to 60. That's what's holding you back the most. You need to do some more gem farming, which I see in your foreseeable future. But let me go ahead and just pick out the ones I would say get to level 60 as soon as you can. Your Dark Melona first, get her to 60. Get your Dark Gat to 60. At least one of them. Of course, not Artemis, but Spark It, because he's one of your Sea Strikers. Water Sig. You can do Sanzing if you are going to use her for your defense. Get Succubus to 60. Of course, all of your Verdes. Get Nezza to 60. And that pretty much is it, my boy. Overall, your Mon box is quite well. Focus on getting your Sea Strikers up to 60. Focus on getting your attackers up to 60. Your defenders. And then last but always least is your healers. And I can't really vouch for your Titans team because I fortunately can't get into it because you've already done them. But for your Titans team, I normally do like 2 healers and 2 debuffers on my left side, and 2 healers, 2 Sea Strikers on the right. You can switch, you can flip-flop what you want. The more resist the better, but basically, yeah, 2 healers on both sides, and either debuffers or attackers to go with the two healers, and you should be well off. You have plenty of Sea Strikers, so really what this comes down to is getting some more leech sets for them and getting them to 60 and getting them skill booked up. But go ahead and burn this energy out, dude. Go farm some golems, get your money up, get them dudes to 60. It might take you a month or 2, maybe even 3 months to get them up to level 60, but I assure you, if you take this advice, you're gonna make all kinds of gains, man. All kinds. This is unlicensed and unprofessional, so don't come knocking at my door trying to cuss me out saying, Eileo, your advice was wrong. This is just my opinion, you guys. But thanks for watching the video. If you survived this long, if you didn't, then I understand. But hopefully this helps you, Luka, more than anyone else. As always, guys, thank you so much for this opportunity, and I'll see you guys next video. Peace out.